Is there any specific exercise to obtain time regression? In the Silva method, you learn how to go back in time by using the palm technique. And basically, when you're in your meditation, you might say, here's my current time. This is where I am right now. But if I want to go back in time, I might go back one revolution to represent what? It could be a year. It could be an hour. It could be, more than that, 5 years at a time, 10 years at a time. So every time I go backwards in this way, counterclockwise, okay, is you're going back in time. Anytime you go clockwise, you're going into the future. So if you want to go for age regression, you might want to go slowly, and then pick it up, maybe 5 years from now. So what do you remember doing 5 years from now? And recall some pointer or point of reference that you might bring to mind of things that you were doing 5 years ago today, 5 years ago. So, you might think back a little bit, but in this inner state, it might help to be more, to have better recollection. Then you go back another 5 years. Okay, so 10 years ago, what was I doing? And then go back another. And if that feels okay, continue with 5 years at a time, but you might want to skip to 10 years and go to maybe very major points that stick out in your life, memories that come to you, and then go back some more. And then until you go back to the time that maybe you were born, or even at the point of conception, or even preconception. I mean, it's up to you. But there's going to be a time when you're going to question, obviously, is this a real regression or is this my imagination? And I say it really doesn't matter, because we really don't know what regression is to begin with. People say, I've been regressed, or I had this lifetime before, or I was so-and-so before this lifetime, if that's the case. But quite frankly, we never really know. We might just be picking up on information that's already impressed in the ethers, and we tapped into one entity of that information. I mean, we really don't know how that absolutely works. I think the closest we have to anything like that would be age regression through hypnosis, and in some cases, not even, but just maybe more like age regression through hypnosis and the different works that people have done through age regression. But then again, it could just be imagination at work, or it could be visualization at work, where you tap into existing information that's already out there in the ethers, basically. But that's the process we utilize. As my father was doing research with regression and progression, we would go through that process and go back again. And so, of course, that also for us, because we were working with my father, who was a hypnotist, meant that we were very, very, very deep. We were probably in very slow, low theta frequencies, where we were given guidance. We weren't doing it by ourselves, because if you're doing it by yourselves, you can't do this kind of action or this kind of technique you can't do this, I should say, in the same way from alpha, because at alpha, your intelligence is very engaged. So intelligence is there, totally engaged. The moment that you're taking, you're having a movement and you're actively engaged in the process and you're handling yourself, then you're at alpha. And when we did age regressions, we were at theta, with my father as a hypnotist guiding the process. So I don't know if that'll help, but I hope it does.